coming from Africa. Maybe it's a long way and we are still waiting for her to join us. And also Miss Utku, and she is from Istanbul, Turkey. And let me introduce you, Miss Utku, because we've been friends for over a year now, and I'm following her work quite closely. Utku is the Chief Technology Officer of Datassist. And for the people who don't know, maybe Datassist, let me just tell a bit. Maybe you can also explain further, Utku. Datassist is a payroll service, which is a very friendly, client-friendly company, and that enables the clients to focus on their core business by providing really high-tech HR solutions for small, mid-size, and also large-size enterprises. And Utku started as an application developer. She also took part in architectural design in wide variety of different business applications. And she's also specialized in, lots of different programming languages, operating systems, application service databases, you name it. So she earns the role of being a CTO. And to be frank, she's one of the rare female CTOs that I met so far. And since today we are going to start talking more on, the tech field, the women in tech, women in cybersecurity field, I think it's really valuable to get her insights. So welcome, Utku. It's really a pleasure.
Thank you, Arif. First of all, I appreciate your request for this webinar for me, because the woman subject is very important in the world right now, and all in information and technology-based business, and also in the world, as I said. Everything in our world for women is really encouraging and hard in these days, in every part of the life. Before starting introducing myself, I want to announce my support for Iranian women who protest right now for their rights and struggle for their rights in Iran, because it's really an important movement, and really I'm supporting their protest against this situation. It is the main and important movement for all the women in the world, I think. As in this business, as a software developer, I started my life in the Datassist. I was educating, and as a student, I started as a part-time work while I was having my university education in Galatasaray University. And then I finished my university life and continue working in Datassist as a software developer, and work for 4 years. And the life of payroll service in SaaS business started with my working life. It's parallel because the subject and this technology announced by Datassist in these years, and it's my first job, and it's like my child.
Okay.
Then after, I get a lot of other companies in different levels. Since 2018, 17, sorry, for 5 years, I'm working in Datassist as Chief Technology Officer. And I have a lot of women colleagues because as a company, we support the women in all sectors, and IT also. Nearly half of my colleagues are women, and really I'm proud of this high numbers, because normally in our sector, in our business, there is 1 or 2, maybe 3 women in the team. Because I started working in the teams like this. No woman or 1 woman. And today we have half of the women, half of the team as women developers. And I'm really proud of this as a Datassist manager. And also our company is supporting the woman in every part of the life. Like after pregnancy, all of the nearly all of the women have a big stop for working, big time of without work, or as a period of no working time. And this is a big problem, because after they return to work again, there is no position for them, or downgraded position. Datassist has a new new program for women that want to go to continue their work life after pregnancy, and they there's a Turkish name, but yeniden başlasın, restart again.
Start again.
For this program. And we support the women who make a big stop and then want to work again, and there's no position in their company. We accept them, we educate them as payroll specialists, and they start working with Datassist.
There's one thing I wonder. Let me ask you a few questions, if you like. For example, I also see that in different cultures, there are different dynamics in women's and men's life. For example, when we consider Turkey, which is quite a male-oriented country, unfortunately. For example, there are different roles expected from men and women in general society, let's say. For example, man has to work and bring money in the home. A woman takes care about the home, grows up the children, takes care of everything. But for example, when we relate this to especially tech business, because I see that, in tech, it really requires long hours of working, a lot of dedication. You don't know when to, spend an overnight in an IT service when you need to make a production live again. So, for example, how do you think this really affects women's life? Because I know that you are a mother, so it's not so easy, I believe. For me as a man, I can say, I'm working today, but is it the same for a woman as well?
We have to balance both gender in the life. I think that all the women and men has to participate in also their life in equal ways. So everything in the home life is seems today like a woman work, but I don't think like that. Everybody has to share every part of the life, and if you have a suppose who will share your life, it will be great. In my case, it's not like that, so very hard for me to do that actually. But if you have a supporter, suppose, and who will share everything, and you participate in home life together in a cool way, there is no problem. But if in the other side, really there's a big problem, because you have to deal with the children, you have to deal with the home life, everything. For me, it's very hard, and I really get a lot of problem and face to face with a lot of problem. But we are powerful and doing everything. Being powerful sometimes very difficult thing, but we have to do that as a woman. We have to fight both in both sides of the life, in business life and in the home life. We can do it, I think, because I try to do it, and it's not all the time in the best way, but I think that everything will be in a balance, and not I don't want to make everything better, because I balance everything and do my best. It is my best, and I think my children is okay with that, and I think my colleagues are okay with everything, and companies are very important in this point, because they have to balance also home life and working life, because after pandemic, this is more understandable by the companies, because why? Now we are working from home or hybrid, and it's easier for women also in this way. Before, companies are very, they don't want to do that. They don't want to work hybrid or remote. But nice to have a pandemic, and we get it in our life, in business life. And I think it's sometimes more relaxing for women, because they do the meal and go to work again in a minute maybe. But sometimes we have problems, because while doing the meeting, I had my child. He is telling some problems in the school, but everyone in the meeting is listening his problem also. I think we see a lot of cases in this pandemic. Maybe you also see a woman like that, or dad like that. I don't know, but
I think that's very personal. You know, when I see such occasions, I really like it, because in the business life, you know, you are more on your boxes, or your face is different. But when you are working from home and you see a mother also taking care of the children when trying to attend the meeting, I think it's a very personal touch. I feel more connected to another person this way.
It's the real life itself. Yeah. It's the real life. Normally, in that case, without a remote life or a hybrid life, mobiles are the tool for that. They are calling, or they are sometimes messaging to us. But right now, we have a lot of in touch with everyone. It seems to me also very good, because it's the real life. We have to care of our children. We have to balance everything, and remote or hybrid work is a good way of doing this, because we have losing a lot of time for transportation. We have losing a lot of time in the cars or in the metro, and now we don't lose it, and we have more dedication. For myself, I'm working more in this situation, and I think that all the colleagues are, and customers are good with that, because we are working a lot. But we have to balance it also, because in the first year of pandemic, I didn't balance it, and I have a lot of health problems, because sitting a lot of hours on my desk and not moving had big problems in health. So I propose, and I say that for my colleagues, you have to balance it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. In the beginning of your talk, you mentioned that you started Datassist and then moved to some other companies, and you're back home again. So I would like you to share some of your experiences with our audience, because I think learning from wisdom is very important, because I believe throughout this journey, you faced a lot of different challenges, especially in advancing your career, being as a woman perspective. So, and what kind of things did you do? What really helped you? Because I really like to learn from other people's experiences. So can you, share with us some of your experiences which you, experienced in your career throughout, doesn't need to name any company, but what were some
Okay.
of the major challenges for you?
Actually, working in different businesses is a challenge because I work in automotive sector for 10 years. Then after I moved to flight sector, actually, airports. I work 2 years after automotive sector. In every business, you learn a lot of things because as a technology producer, we have to be in the business and we have to learn every step of the business so that we can produce more usable things for this business. So every business learned me a lot of things. Also, all the IT colleagues will teach you a lot of new ways and new technologies. You can. First of all, I'm very happy to work in Datassist again because I work in big companies, and in big companies, sometimes this wage inequality in genders also is a problem. Also, some of the companies support women, but it's just a word, I support women. Normally in performance periods, they are not the case. You can, for example, one of my example, I'm pregnant, and in the year of pregnancy, in one of the company, I get a bad grade for that year. They told me as an explanation, you are pregnant. And actually, we can do every work as a pregnant woman. It's not a problem. Actually, I just had middle amount of leaves for pregnancy. For example, I start working after the birth of my son in 1 month or 1.5 months. So it's not a problem that a woman can be pregnant and cannot rework again. This is a problem that I really don't accept, because you can do that and you can work also. It's up to the person. It's up to you, actually. But I'm really sad with this kind of behavior, because I do everything that my colleagues do at the same time. Maybe better, but I'm pregnant and I get the downgrade. It's an example of my bad behavior in this period, actually. Sometimes I said wage inequality for genders, I face to face in this period. But the big problem in this gender is our female colleagues, because they struggle with themselves. They don't support in the real life our female colleagues. I propose every woman support women colleagues, because we need them. We need to get together. And also, we have the main problem. The man doesn't trust as expected in this business, because they think that women cannot have the better abilities. They cannot be more. They don't think that you can do that. But we can do. Actually, women are more skeptical, for example, and it's the best thing in cybersecurity side, being skeptical, being analyzing some of them and find something. So also women are more systematic and more planned, I think, also, and they can focus more over some subjects. But supporters in the real life, especially colleagues, they don't want to have everything they know, because you are a woman and they choose the man to give the information.
For example, when you face a situation like this, for example, let's say you are in a team and some of the team members, instead of coming directly to yourself and sharing the information, they choose to share with another male colleague, let's say. When you experience something like this, some unpleasant approach, let's say, how is your behavior? Do you get angry? Do you show emotions? Do you act like nothing happened? What really works in your opinion, so that you can earn their trust? I don't know, do you need to earn this or not, but you may say, what the hell, I will do whatever I want. What's your perspective approach?
Especially I choose the be angry with them, and I protest against them and do my job and show that I can do it better. Because we have to struggle. We don't have everything directly in this life as a woman. We have to struggle for that, and we have to gain, and we have to have it with our hands. So we have to show them we can do that. We have the ability, we have the information, we have the education, everything, and we have to spend more time to show them we are the correct person to do that job.
We have a very nice poll just about this topic. May I ask from my colleague Sinem to share the poll number 1? So let's see, how the audience will respond to that. The question is, why are less women entering in the technology field? Because this is really an issue, I believe, because I see that there's a lot of perceptions from the woman side or the male side. When you are trying to enter a male dominant environment, maybe you don't want to do this. As you mentioned, maybe there is lower pay for females in a similar role. This is another issue. Sometimes even in the recruitment, there are some issues, not only in technology, in many places. There was an interesting test which I have seen. In music orchestrates, it's also a very male dominant thing, and they were not selecting women at all. And then they said, okay, let's close the curtains, and the violin players, for example, who play it will not be seen, and then you make the judge, and the judgments became totally different. When people were seeing who was playing the violin, for example, they were biased to males, but when they didn't see it at all, it was a totally different scenario, and women became more approachable.
Yes, we have predefined problems in recruiting also. I have in one of the recruiting a different question. Do you marry again? Do you divorce again? Like, do you have children again? Maybe some questions are not asked to men, but asked to women, especially about the pregnancy. But actually, it's a period of time for women. Maybe there's a big stop for weeks, but it can be planned periods, and everyone can do that, because I do that. My colleagues, I propose my colleagues to do that. Have your pregnancy in a good way, but back to work, because we can do that. Some of my colleagues sometimes think that I have to stop. I cannot have more time with my children. It's not the important thing to have more time, because we can spend more time with our children, but it's not a good way. So we have to do it in a good way. We have to share more things, but time is not important, I think.
For example, when I take a look at the poll questions, I see that a lot of people answer the male domination. So this is not something that easily be solved. For example, the companies who are really caring about this issue, like yourselves, employ more women in the place. But also the perceptions are also holding us back, don't you think? For example, if I believe that they will never advance me in my career, then I wouldn't go there. So, for example, what can you advise to the audience? For example, how can we get over to some of our misperceptions, perhaps? For example, what are some of the things that are like a myth, especially from the woman perspective?
The first myth in technology is the woman has not all the qualities or abilities for that job. We have to break this perception first.
Okay.
Because women can do everything in technology: cybersecurity, software development, system networking. Actually, women can do everything. So we have to first break this perception in men's brain, because the males are dominating this business. So they have to understand that women can do everything. We have to give them place or role to do that. This year, I think, in Java Day polls openings, there are no women speakers. And one of the colleagues in the forum say that, why you don't have women speakers? Do you think that women cannot speak on that subject quite easy? They don't have the ability. And one of the admins of the forum say that, yes, we don't think that women are not in good abilities, have good abilities to do that speak.
Unbelievable.
Really, this is a case happened in Turkey, and first we have to break the perceptions, yes, in the man's brain, because men are the have the hegemony in this business, so they have first break this perception. Women can do it.
And in order to break the break this perception, I think it's only possible by just doing it and then showing it.
Yes, we can.
Just by telling is not possible. So you just have to show the entire world that what kind of successes we have done. Sometimes I see that women are not really, I don't know if I'm using the right word, but selling the success very well. Because I can see sometimes more introverted approach. I'm good. I just put it there and I expect somebody to appreciate it. But
there comes another perception,
yes.
I think, because the woman is first in front of the public with their look.
Unfortunately.
Because all the public, all the humans are first looking at the look of the woman, which is, for me, is not important, because also in our case, all the sales in tech are women. Why?
Mm.
The man cannot sell it, or because they sell the man.
Mm.
Which one? I think that because they sell to men. But really, I don't want this also. Women also prefer to be saleswomen. Why? You can be a technical person. They sometimes afraid of working hours. They sometimes afraid of struggle with the man, but don't be afraid, because we have the ability, we have the power. Also, we have some companies supporting that. For example, mine, because choose the best company that supports women. In the first rule, choose the right company to go through in your career. They support women. What are they asking in recruitment? They are important. Judge them according to these informations.
I really like this approach, because I think especially early in the career, this can be very critical, because after you earn a lot of success and you become, known
Yes.
with all your done projects and so on, then you can be targeted by even a male centric organization. But I think starting from a company who really supports women in management, women in the workplace, there's a good equality between men and women. I think that's really good, because, for example, in my early career, I was working in Hewlett Packard, and our general manager was a woman, Aysel. Maybe you remember her from
Yes,
industry. And our HR manager, Işık, is a woman. So after a while, we observed that the woman ratio in the entire company was somewhere around 60 to 40 rate. And then Aysel started asking from Işık, I remember that time, Işık, please employ some men in the group, because we are losing the balance now. So that was such a, woman-oriented company in every role. For example, in consultancy, in really high-tech environment. Şebnem, for example, was one of my colleagues. And yesterday I was in Garanti Bank and I met her. And she's in strategy in the Garanti technology. So, she's one of the top level managers, and I see how her career is going. But starting from a company who really appreciates women, I believe it's a very, very good start.
Yeah, you can, as a starter, as a starter of the career, ask in the recruitment, what is the percentage of women in your team? Because it may give you a key for company view.
Yeah.
These are important, I think. I'm actually asking these questions in my career, and also why I'm back to Datassist. Our owner of the company is a woman, and really strategic. Ayşe Uça really have a big strategic point of view in this sector. She made a technology-based system years and years before, so women can do it. So just we have to get in touch with this business and have the roles and support themselves together. Women has to support women because we need it.
Well, in a sense, for example, a good advantage is maybe most of the hiring recruiters are women in the industry. This is, I think, an advantage. But still, in the recruitment process, in somewhere, the hiring managers is not the HR manager. So hiring manager can be a man. And usually I see that there is, they assume men to be more capable, unfortunately,
yes,
as
unfortunately.
before, especially in cyber and also in tech. So, what are some of the strengths do you think the woman can show in such a recruitment process? For example, which parts shall I be focusing on so that I can show that hiring manager that I'm even more capable than a man?
Unfortunately, just we have to show our point of view that we can do it.
Mm-hmm.
We have to share our qualifications, talk on that, and focus on that in the recruitment. I do that. I share a role in this project like that. We have to go to the recruitment with the data or with some supporter. With the supporter data, you have to join the meetings, co-workings, everything in the sometimes in the university life. Mm-hmm. You have to go something, have a role, little role maybe in this project will help you to show that you can do it.
And I think this also applies not only recruiting, but also in promoting yourself in the career as well. This is the same, because you want to advance as a manager, take a different role, more responsibilities. I think you again can get questioned about your skills if you are good fit as a manager. For example, how are you going to manage the tough situations? Will you be able to fire somebody from the organization if it doesn't work? Because I believe women is very, very strong in sense of empathy, in sensing, but sometimes this can be perceived as a weakness in an organization, because I'm so sensible and I'm so empathic. So can I make tough decisions when the time comes, or will I start crying? So did you sometimes get such question marks in the organizations? Not in Datassist, maybe in
not in Datassist, maybe, but in other companies in my work life, yes. Sensibility is an maybe breaking point, but you in the work you may need senses sometimes, because it's life also, work life. You have to you don't have to close the every part of your body just I work. No, we have to be in the work life also with our senses, and sometimes it will maybe harden our work, but sometimes it's a good quality. I don't think that this is a disadvantage, being sensible, because this kind of person sometimes show more on the subject, share more on the project or on the issue, because he or she is sensible.
Okay.
I think that this is not a disadvantage.
No, I believe it's a big plus, because this is really what is missing in a very male dominant environment, because it's more lack of empathy, usually a lot of egos. So what I see that in the woman's approach, I see less ego but more empathy, and instead of I I see more of how we can do this together and how can I contribute. So these are the huge advantages of being a woman in your team or as a manager, because I really worked many times with women managers and I really enjoyed working with all of them. And I think I suffered most when I was working with men managers.
Sometimes I think that I'm the mother of my all colleagues, because we have a lot of age difference also, because I have a minimum 10 years difference with the team members. Sometimes I feel like mother. I talk with their life, children, everything, but this is not a bad thing, because we share everything. We share all information, all situation in the life, and we come together more, and we can solve the problems better in this case, because this is a period that everyone had a lot of problems in life.
Mhm.
So because this is hard times in all over the world, not in Turkey also. So we have to make empathy more, and it's a good way to share with the colleagues and talk on them. It's better to manage with the senses and everything.
I see that, for example, I believe actually a lot of your team members may see you as a role model, so that, you know, I would like to be like Utku when I grow up, or, you know, when I advance more in my career. I believe that you have such an impact. So if I would relate the same question to you, did you have some role models in your, you know, career? It doesn't have to be from the work, but, you know, from other places. Was this a person, a man or a woman? So what were some of the, you know, main attributes you really try to, you know, embrace on yourself?
My role model is our owner of the company, Ayşe Uca, because I first saw her as a woman in life.
Okay.
Because I'm a university student working in Datassist. Our company is a little company. I saw her in every step of her life, work life, home life. And my role model is her, because I go through the steps, and strategies she made are very good. And she's an empathic woman, and she managed the company with her senses and everything. And I like the way she do it, and go through her way to do my best, actually.
So you mentioned senses, one. What are some other, you know, quality attributes of her that you really see as a good role model?
She's a very strategic woman.
Strategic,
She can do good insights in every part of the business and life, for life also, and also for the business. She can see the future very good, because in the beginning of 2000s, she produced a SaaS business, and now we have it, and we are on the way. It's been 20 years that she has the idea and do it. So I love these qualities of her, and also she's a powerful woman. She can struggle in every part of her life with everything, as a mother, as a manager of the home, and manager of the company. She had a really big success, and I go through her steps.
There's a very, very nice YouTube video that I've seen, how was focused on women entrepreneurs. I'm going to share it from the chat with everyone. I really think that it's worthwhile watching it. And it's, you know, Foundation Startups Women in Charge series, season 3. So the Station F's, this documentary series was focusing on, it's in French, but with English subtitles. So showing a lot of, you know, women, how they became successful, what were some of the, you know, difficulties that they see, but, you know, how can they overcome it. It's really beautiful 15-minute video. I can propose this to everyone. I think in 5 minutes time, Confidence will also join us. So before she comes, I was going to ask, you say you overcome the gender balance within the organization because of the approach of Ayşe Hanım, because she's, you know, taking really good care about this. For example, if there wouldn't be such an top manager in place who really, you know, promote women in workplace, What would a woman in organization can start as a movement, like in Iran, they start the movement, but can we start our own little movements within the organization to promote the more women in the workplace?
Yes, we can do it because every woman in her team can support first their female colleagues, because we need to get together. It's a hard life for all women in this business, so we have to first support each other. Then after, in the company, we have to promote females. We have to suggest them to be in this business and not stop working, ensure full participation in public life. We have to break the distrust of women's abilities in every part of business, showing them that we can do it. So I suggest to all my female colleagues to do that in their business life. Then after, I suggest companies to recruit more women in technology, because they can be successful in every part of technology business, even in cybersecurity. And also, I suggest my women colleagues to get big roles and big responsibilities in that job. They don't be afraid of facing against this kind of behaviors or problems. Go through it and struggle with it. And also, I have to thank also Umut Bey, CEO of our Datassist, because he also support me in every part of my job as a woman, and balance my life in that job. And I suggest all the company managers and C-levels to support women's work-life balance. Maybe it's hard to do that, and maybe it's sometimes why I'm dealing with that, but it's important to get full participation of women in life.
Yeah, it's also like an investment, isn't it? So, for example, it's like investing in a new employee, because you recruit somebody, you need to invest. So sometimes people see that giving away some space to a person is a loss of energy, is a loss of time. But I believe that when you do this, the return will be so good that the efficiency will be so much higher when you give some space. I think they will work with more engagement. And if there is an engaged person, doing some good job for you, there's nothing more I can expect.
I think this in the same way.
Now we are having Confidence with us. You're in mute, Confidence. Okay.
Hey, Arif, how you doing today? Good morning. Hi. How you doing?
Hi, Confidence. We were talking with Utku about some of the topics of women in tech, especially talking a little bit about cyberspace. So with your participation, let's move more on the cyber world. Thank you, Utku, a lot for your contributions, and welcome, Confidence. So let me just very quickly tell who Confidence is. Confidence is coming from Africa. She's one of the most celebrated female cybersecurity leaders. She's a talent developer, global speaker, and inclusion advocate as well. So she has a lot of achievements. It will take me a long time to read about all her achievements, I believe. But she's working with a lot of world-class CIOs, CTOs. Maybe, Utku, you have an opportunity to work with Confidence in the future. So I got to link you two together. And
why not? Yes.
Yeah, she was, the Cybersecurity Woman of the Year award in 2021-22. I hopefully see 2023 as well. So, in the remaining, time, Confidence, what would you like to share with us, if coming from your experience in a different continent? Because we spoke a lot from our own regional perspective, but how are things in Africa from the woman's perspective, and also from worldwide, as you see? Is there a big change? So, what can women in cyber world do differently, to get more acceptance? I don't know, because I believe there are a lot of things that can be done. So it's your stage.
Thank you so much, Arif. I mean, it'd be really nice to connect with Utku, and I mean, thank you for that warm introduction. I'm going to definitely be reaching out. And that question is very, very fantastic, because I like the word you use, acceptance, because I mean, we have really been used to certain things, and a lot of us don't realize what biases we've formed over time because of what we've known to be normal, or what we have seen to be the color of competence, or the shape of competence, or the gender even of competence. So these are some of the issues that we have to deal with here, and they are multifaceted issues. First and foremost is education. So in this part of the world, educating a male child is way more prioritized than a female. It's almost like you're just wasting money on a girl. Instead of there's that talk about, you know what, she's going to get married and take another person's name, so why bother? In fact, if you want to bother, do the barest minimum, that sort of thing. But we know that girls are equally very talented as well, and deserve an education. Education generally is even a fundamental human right. And so for a lot of girls around here, education isn't something that they have. Most of them just aspire to getting married and having children because of the examples that are before them. And so one of the key reasons I believe loudly, let me put it that way, because I've really been visible, showing young girls what's possible, is because they're able to see that, and they're able to aspire, to something more of their lives than, I mean, getting married, having children is beautiful. I am married, I have kids as well, but I'm also leaving something that is my purpose as well. And I believe that everyone else should experience that level of fulfillment. So that's one level of the issues. The next level is that women and girls are less likely to have access to computing devices, and are less likely to be able to afford trainings that give them digital skills. And that's so painful, because the world is becoming fully digitized. And what that also means for women and girls here as well is that in no time, they will be unable to find decent work. I mean, how crazy can that be? That just so much disadvantages heaped up against you that you can't even make a living, and your ability to do decent work and earn a living is taken away from you because you do not have the skills. So that's one end of things. And when girls are able to go past that level, it goes into also like the hiring processes as well here, and some of the issues that we have. So I mean, it's a normal thing for women to want to have children while growing a career or building a career. What that also does for a lot of organizations is they do not have processes, they do not have policies that protect women. And I think this is not also an African specific issue. Actually, I've seen that many parts of the world, there's this issue. So you find that women have to go off to have babies, and they do not have sufficient support in the workplace and out of the workplace to come back into the workforce. So when we struggle to attract girls in to the talent pipeline, we are struggling to keep those talents in the tech talent pipeline into management or mid-level roles. So those are some of the challenges that women face, because it's a natural thing to want to have children, but it puts them at disadvantage. There's also a bias that men are more skilled than women. But I'm going to say that's really a big bias, and I'm going to tell you why I've confirmed, or how I've confirmed that is a bias. At CyberSafe Foundation, I mean, you were reading my bio, and you said something about talent development. That's some of the things, some of the key things. Those are some of the key things we do. We actually build cyber talent, and we before now were really female focused, because we saw that there was a huge gap between male talent and female talents. So we saw that the industry in Africa was, while the rest of the world was doing 75% male and 25% female, in Africa it was worse. So we wanted to create female talent because we also don't want people to be hired and given opportunities because of their gender, because they're females. No, we want females to be able to compete with the males for opportunities. That's what we want. We don't want to be treated like a special species. So we set out to then build programs that allows girls to access the skills and get the support they need to grow and become talents that are sought after. And we created a program called Cyber Girls. And with Cyber Girls, we're providing free training, mentorship, and placement opportunities. Along the line, we got approached by a state government in Nigeria. And while we're doing the Cyber Girls program across Africa in 7 countries, but in Nigeria, we got approached by a government to do the same program, but gender neutral. And so what we did with these cohorts that we're just finishing is we put them side by side. So they are getting the same training, they're getting everything, getting everything in parallel. But what we have noticed is in almost all our learning tracks, girls are topping those classes. And you know why I'm so excited about that? Because it just shows that half the time we just need talent to meet opportunities. That's all we need. And that bias about girls not being as competent as boys in tech is totally untrue. It's something we have been sold over time. It's something we've been told to believe, but it's not true. And these kind of experiment of what we didn't actually set out as an experiment test has proven exactly that. And if we were to do that multiple times, we will see exactly that. So there is that bias of competence, and where you look at the female and you want to question her credentials or if she's really worth that opportunity and things like that. You walk in a room and generally speaking, because you're a female, or maybe you look a certain way, maybe you don't look tomboyish enough. I mean, I definitely am not a tomboy. I wear my long wigs, I wear my makeup. Today I'm not wearing them, but I definitely am. I'm a girl. You get what I mean? But I have also faced that kind of questioning of my skill set, and I'm often underestimated. And I think that's a good thing. I mean, I've given this a very long answer, but I've often also been underestimated, and that has given me the opportunity to just rise and shine, because you don't even expect that I will be that equipped and that skilled. So, I mean, these are some of the many challenges that girls and women face in cybersecurity and in tech in general in this part of the world.
So a question is, what can the girls do beyond within their control or impact area to overcome some of these?
I think that first and foremost, there needs to be an openness of mind to something that is new and something that's a prospect. I mean, I got interviewed recently on a major daily in Nigeria, and I was sharing about this. I mean, you can relate with Utku very much, but you need to first open up your mind to the prospect of you can do this. And this is something that if it interests you, you could excel at it. So there's that need for girls to be open-minded about it. There's also a requirement to be dogged. I mean, there's everything pulling you down, or there's everything pulling you away from where you want to be. So girls need to build resilience and doggedness in their chase for their dreams. So that when we are given a hand, I mean, Cyber Girls isn't the only program in this part of the world that's assisting women and girls. So when you're giving that hand, you can recognize the hand, you can set out those kind of opportunities that are providing support to women. I mean, I always say that we are still in a fantastic time. We are now talking about women in cyber, which means conversations that will lead to action. And it won't be like before where it was just something that wasn't spoken about. There was not enough support. There was no support at all. But it's a very good time that we're not speaking about these things and the actions taken to support women. So girls and women should seek out these opportunities as well. And when they're given, they should give it their all. I say that because sometimes girls get these opportunities too and are not able to maximize it because of many other challenges. So it is now, the onus is now on them to really push through and give it their best shot, even in the midst of all of these challenges. And I'm going to share some of these challenges, and I'll share the story of Favor. Favor lives in the eastern part of Nigeria, and she was one of the beneficiaries on our program, Cyber Girls program. But to show the disparity between how girls are handled in a home and how boys are. Her brothers she has two brothers, they're older than her. They wake up in the morning and they set out to whatever they want to do, school or work, as it may be. But Favor needs to wake up in the morning and she'll go walk a very long distance to fetch water from a spring that is drying up because of global warming. So she has to wait on the queue to fetch water to service her household, right? And when she comes back, she needs to go back again and fetch firewood to cook for her family. And then after cooking for her brothers and making sure they have water to have their bath, then she goes to the hub to learn, our hub to learn. Now, what that does is Favor doesn't arrive the hub as strong or as mentally alert as the other people who would arrive, because, you know, she spent about 4 hours catering to her household, right? And so people like Favor, for example, need to do more. I mean, that's the irony of it. They need to do more to be successful, and it will take the willpower and mental strength, and of course the support that a lot of these kind of programs like Cyber Girls would be providing, consciously knowing that this is a challenge. So definitely, if what's within your power to do, to be able to be allowed, because again, that's a key term around here. You need to be allowed to chase your dream in the first place. So the diplomacy and whatever it is that is required to access that kind of permission to chase the dreams, for the time being, I think that we need to begin to carefully and diplomatically work around that. So when more girls are empowered, they're able to raise families that also have the right basis to raise future leaders as well. Because we've also seen historically that women that are empowered with high in-demand skills like cybersecurity tend to become more prosperous and tend to raise healthier families. So I think that for a start, that's where we could start from.
So it's really, you know, a delicious talk, let me say. I can't really, you know, wait to, you know, listen more of your stories, but unfortunately we're out of time. So I have to, you know, end the session, because I believe a lot of participants have some other schedules, maybe you as well. But I hope, you know, I can welcome you for another social session in the future sometime. Thank you very much for joining us, Confidence. Thank you, Utku, being our guest speaker today. And thank you for all the participants, and looking forward to meeting you again in another time. Thank you.
Thank you
very
much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.